Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Scribes and Scrolls, the Candlekeep Mysteries, Book 2, Mazfroth's Mighty Digressions, and this is Chapter 10, Amberdune Books. This is our newest D&D campaign happening every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/Mini Terrain Domain, hashtag Mondays are fun again.
Yay!
We are excited to have Jordan back with us after a 2-week hiatus. However, we are not at 100% because Dwight is now gone for 2 weeks. Dwight is on a much-deserved vacation. So we will do our best to keep Mizya alive and well. Maybe we'll see, because Mizya has been knocked unconscious a couple of times while Dwight was piloting them. So we'll see if Mizya can stay conscious while we're all sort of piloting them. Couple of quick announcements. We did get a little bit of a late start here, so I'm gonna burn through some of these announcements real quick, and then we're gonna play some Dungeons and Dragons. Let's see. First and foremost, draw your attention down to the lower left-hand corner of the screen, where you will see under Mizya, you'll see a Talon and Claw logo and a Run Right Play logo. Those are our channel partners and sponsors. Of course, with Talon and Claw, anytime you want, type exclamation point MTD Claw in the chat. And you'll see a link to Talon and Claw's Etsy shop, where you can get all kinds of amazing dice accessories, DM screens, as well as laser engraved things like coasters and some wonderful collaborations with 88 riddles and some unique designs, wooden giant sized D20s, and I don't know how many are available, but currently there is the gold and lightning Thor's Ire. I believe they're a metal set, 7-piece dice set that are available for pre-order. So you want to check those out. When you go to checkout, be sure to use code MTDClaw to get 10% off of your order. You can also type in exclamation point RWP and head on over to our friend Keel's Patreon page and check out what he has to offer over there. Keel puts together an amazing zine, both digital and a physical edition, that he puts out every month for his patrons. And his entire brand is centered around collaboration. Keel has an incredible community of collaboration, so please do check that out. If you look up above Jordan's head, you will see several books up there. In fact, 30 domain tomes, which I actually need to adjust that total, because there was a meta subscription from Jordan. So you're up to 31 domain tomes. What are domain tomes, you ask? Well, domain tomes are a way that you, the audience, can have an influence on the game by tipping $5, cheering 500 bits, or subscribing, gifting subs. All that great stuff earns domain tomes for the players that they can use to change the outcome. They can roll use one tome to gain advantage on a dice roll. 3 tomes will allow them to re-roll, and 5 tomes will force me to re-roll. Be sure to hit those, get those subscriptions and resubs, and it counts if you use your free Amazon Prime subscription. You can support the channel and support the players. The last thing I'm going to talk about real quick before we jump into the recap and then the game is, of course, you matter. We always make it a point to let you know that you matter. You make a difference in this world, whether or not you believe it. You might be struggling with something. We don't know what your struggles are, but we want you first to know that it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to struggle, but you don't have to do so alone. There are many of resources that are available out there if you happen to be struggling. Whatever that may be, you can come here to MTD any time of day or night, whether we're streaming or not, and you can type !help in the chat, and you can follow that link at findahelpline.com. Click on that and simply put into the dialog box where you're from. Where do you live in the world? Anywhere in the world. And a variety of links on various mental health organizations near you will pop up. Call centers, text lines and websites, whatever you may need, will be available in just a couple of quick clicks. We do encourage you to please, if you need help, use findahelpline.com, put in your location, and reach out to one of those services. All right. I think it's time to play some Dungeons and Dragons. All right. Our adventurers have traveled to Baldur's Gate. They spent about 6 or 7 days on the road, traveling with horses and wagon in what was a mostly uneventful journey until one of their last nights on the road. Mysteriously, they were attacked in the middle of the night by what appeared to be a were-rat leading some giant rats. They don't know what motivated the attack, but they were able to quickly and mercilessly end the attack.
Test.
Yep. Yeah, we can hear you, Ricky.
Sorry, I thought I was on test mode. Sorry.
Nope.
Yikes.
No, you're good. You're good. So then they continued on their way into Baldur's Gate, traveled around the city, and into the large marketplace known as the Wide, where they began to search around, trying to find the booksellers that they didn't really know anything except that it had Dune in the name. They did find, along the way, a wonderful bread stand, Autumn's Breads, run by a delightful halfling woman who gave them, as Ricky put it, D&D donuts. And 100% the last Tuesday, Ricky sent us a picture because he went out and bought apple fritters. So,
absolutely.
You gotta.
It was delicious.
Yeah, that was a wonderful experience with Autumn's Breads, where they got fey cakes is what they were called, small apple fritters, or as they're now known, D&D donuts. They also met Heathkin Velger from Heath's Hot and Cool Drinks, where they all got themselves mugs of Long Winter, a hot cider mulled with dried meadow seed to go along with their sweet breads. Nope, that's something completely different.
Fake cakes.
Yeah, so aren't sweet breads like some kind of are brains?
Yes.
Nah, dude. Are they?
I think so.
What?
I think
What?
I think sweetbreads refers to the brains of like a calf or something like that.
Huh.
That's terrible.
The more you know.
Right?
Yeah, great fun fact.
So
here.
yeah, there was none of that
Scrolls.
going on. There was absolutely none of that going on. Sorry, I am trying to make a couple of quick adjustments.
All good.
Dwight's not here and everything goes weird. Don't tell him. Don't tell Dwight that he's the linchpin
Yep.
Right.
holding everything together.
I mean, I was
His
going to
head-
just
his
blame
head
me
would
because
get
I've been gone for 2 weeks. But,
Right.
I mean, if you're ready to blame Dwight, that's
No,
fine.
if you're here, you don't get blamed. If you're here, you don't get blamed. If you're gone, you get blamed.
If you're here, your family.
Right?
When you're
So-
here, your family.
As
And
you,
apparently, if you're gone, you're dead to us.
yes.
that should be Olive Garden's new slogan. If you're gone, you're dead, to us.
That's why there's so many breadsticks there.
For those that are interested, Acerson has in the chat clarified exactly what part of the calf sweetbreads are from.
That makes more sense.
I was close.
Dick.
So,
Is that a real thing? Like sweet bread is made out of
cow?
Yeah.
Pancreas
Yeah.
would make sense because that's where the body
Pancreas.
gets its sugar.
Yep.
So wait a
Yep,
minute.
So, after enjoying your non-cattle, non-dairy
You
fake
broke
cakes,
Ricky.
Well, because hold on, I'm sorry. Like, there's a world where meat minced pie has no meat in it, and sweet bread is made
Yep.
of meat.
Yeah.
I am just baffled. I'm
This
sorry.
is all.
there's
top
not
tier.
just a world; it's our world.
That's our world.
Yeah,
This
we
is the
live in it.
world we live in.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Let's
I'm
go to
sorry.
the other world. This is
Yeah, let's go back to the world of fake cakes and the long
Yeah,
winter.
That's better.
delightful
Where-
halflings.
Where, as we left off, I will flip over to what you saw. You saw a stand called Amberdune Books. And you realized this is, in fact, the bookseller that you've been looking for. You do actually see that there are a couple of people that are tending to the stand. It's about mid-afternoon by now. And there is a or rather are a man and a woman, a woman working behind the counter, not the woman pictured here. This woman is a petite woman, looks like to be about maybe 5 feet, has wide eyes and her hair done up in some long braids that fall down to the side. And there is another individual, a man, close to 6 feet tall, standing out in front of the stand, and he is holding out the book to various people passing by, reading sections from the books, trying to entice people into purchasing. They managed to get a couple people stopping to look at their books as you watch. Both of these individuals, they look as though, I would say, everybody make me a history check.
Amazing. 7.
9.
30-20.
Ooh.
Power 5.
Assyria, you recognize that from their, particularly from their darker skin tones, that they look to be from the region of Cormyr, which is further south, is a desert region. Both of them appear to be from that region. What would you like to do?
Doc would like to walk up to the tall man.
Who looks like Gaston, and I'm gonna say it.
I was just
Does.
watching. Well, my daughter and my wife was watching. My wife watching Beauty and the Beast. I was not participating because I was doing cool things.
Beauty and the
Excuse
Beast
me?
is the coolest of the Disney
Yeah,
movies.
what are you
No.
talking about?
I was watching other things. No, they were watching with Gaston, so it was cool.
So Doc will go up to the tall man and he will say, "Excuse me, sir."
Well, hello, may I interest you in one of our lovely tomes that we have here? I have
Yes.
many books of many varieties from all over the land. Is there anything in particular that you are looking for?
Yes, I'm looking for an answer to a question. And that question is, why are the books you selling infused with monsters?
What?
The books. The books that you're selling, some of them are infused with monsters. And I'm wondering why.
I'm afraid I don't have any idea what it is you are talking about, sir. Please, it is very rude to accuse somebody of having monsters in their stall in the middle of the Are you trying to cause me problems?
Oh, no, I was just trying to get an answer to my question. You see, we came from Candlekeep, and multiple people who purchase books from a stall in the wide called Amberdune books, so brought them to Candlekeep as entry, and then those books turned into monsters, including Mazfroth's Mighty Digressions, which is why we're here, because the monster attacked us. So, I was hoping you might be able to help us answer the question.
And Vorn will begin to talk with his mouth full of the wonderful sweet bread, and he's going to point over to Mizya. They have first-hand experience. Mizya, do you have? Tell him.
Yes. What he says is true. I was attacked by a creature from one of the books that came, apparently, from your stall. The woman that is behind the counter sort of leans forward. She was tending to some books, but as you all sort of begin gathering around the gentleman, she steps forward. Rama, is there a problem? These individuals, I'm sorry, I did not catch any of your names.
We didn't offer them.
We didn't throw them.
They are saying that there are monsters in our books that have made their way to Candlekeep. Baseless or ridiculous accusations.
I want to lean around Mr. Handsome Guy, and I want to talk to the lady. I'm like, did you have a tiefling come through here a couple weeks ago? Red skin, built like a tree trunk. I don't see many tieflings around here. I bet you'd remember her.
Perhaps you should try looking a little bit better. Without even turning my head, I see at least 6 tieflings. You are in Baldur's Gate. There are a lot of tieflings here. If you were to look around, there are actually quite a few tieflings.
There are a lot of tieflings? Okay.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Sorry, as a reminder, when I described when you entered the market, there's pretty much all races are here.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, so I'm like, so you don't remember any tieflings coming up to your shop? Maybe looked like they were a knight once.
Many
Stacked
tieflings.
like me.
Many tieflings stop occasionally by our stand. I do not, I'm afraid, remember every single customer.
What about the ones that bought books that had monsters in them? Do you remember them?
Doc, hey, Doc,
Don't you keep a ledger, though? Doesn't your shop keep a ledger of sorts? And then you bought the book?
We keep inventory of the books that we have, but once they are no longer part of our inventory, we have no reason to keep track of them. We also don't keep track of who buys what.
Because Mizya, as I'm gulping my hot, warm tea and my bread.
oh my god, he's got props. Ricky's got props.
Mizya, do we have the book that
Ricky
turned into a monster?
Well, no, because it turned
The
into
book
one.
disappeared, Mizya says, after it nearly ripped me to pieces.
Ugh.
And I point at the shop. See?
I look at the lady and I kind of sigh and I'm sorry about Doc. He's very blunt when he wants something. He can't help himself. He's not great with people. Do you remember
Great
when
with
you?
people. Everyone likes me.
You're not wrong. We'll talk later.
Doc, you're doing fine.
Do you happen to remember when you came into possession of a book called The Dark Hunger, or I can't read my own handwriting. Fallen something or other.
It's not written on the bearskin.
I believe that book is called The Fallen Tethymir.
Yeah, that one.
That one, is it?
It's a big word. Yeah. But do you remember when you came into possession of those books? Who you got them from?
Roll insight.
Huh.
All of you.
Huh. Scheisse. Ricky. I got a 6.
Oh, my insight's really bad. Oh.
Warren gets a 16.
18.
I rolled an 18, which means I get 17.
So, Teera, you're leaning a bit in, and, you know, I imagine you're kind of, occasionally as you're saying things, you're doing that thing where you say something, then you just kind of...
Yeah.
So, it's in that moment that you miss what the others pick up on, which is
Awesome.
when you mention the names of and maybe it's as you were sort of looking up to recall the name of Fallen Tethemir, at the mention of those books in particular, these two individuals exchange a glance.
Yeah. See, what does that mean? Why did you look at each other when Teera asked about those books?
It means you do know something.
Oh,
Might as well tell us.
is that what it means?
I think so.
Oh, great. Asaria thinks you know what it means.
Names.
Oh, but
We might have to slit some throats today, Doc. It'd be great if nobody knew our names.
Mm-hmm.
well,
You literally see Sarah's like,
I mean, maybe you will.
Assyria's screwed.
Somebody roll me a D100 real quick.
oh,
Not
crap.
it.
Fine, I'll do it.
Ricky. I vote Ricky.
I'll do
Are you
it.
sure about that?
Yes, because you're a Call of Cthulhu guy, and it's a
Yeah, you do
it's
it
a
then.
percentage die. This is your thing, man.
I know, but okay,
Ricky, do it. I got a good feeling.
Here we go. 88.
What'd I say?
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if that's a good thing, but it feels
Yeah.
like a good thing.
It feels like a good thing. 88's pretty good.
88 was a great.
They're both of these individuals, this man and this woman, are, as you're sort of putting a little bit of pressure on them, and Doc's like, you know, what did that look mean? They're hemming and hawing, and they're looking back and forth at each other, like not sure what to say. And then from the back side of the tent, this stall that they're in, another voice comes out, a woman's voice, and says, Maliza, Rama, what is going on here? You have quite a few customers in front of the stall, but I don't see you selling books. Hello, friends.
Hello.
My name is Corvalla. Amberdune Books is my store. Can I help you find something that you might be looking for?
You can help us answer a question. And that question is, why are some of the books that are coming from your shop turning into monsters?
I point at Doc like, exactly.
What he said. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Doc, I got it. So, there's a few of your books that made their way to Candlekeep. I'm sure selling books you've heard of Candlekeep, yeah? You know, Candlekeep, the big library.
I am very aware of Candlekeep, yes.
Yeah. So that's where we came from. And two books that both came from here turned into monsters. They almost killed them. And, yeah, we were just hoping to get some more information. Nobody has to know anything about this. We don't have to tell the gods or anything. We just want to know where you got them from. Follow the breadcrumbs, as it were.
Make a persuasion check.
God, no.
come on, Teera.
It's okay. Ah! 16!
Hey.
There you go.
What? You say some of my books made their way to Candlekeep.
Yeah.
Manifested as monsters.
Well, they made it there manifested as books, and then when they were inside, one of them turned into a monster. Wait, Two. Sorry. All three of them turned into monsters.
Yeah, three.
Mm-hmm.
Mizya like almost died, and I mean we all almost died. Mizya mostly almost died. Mizya, right?
Ricky?
Say it.
Yes, yes.
That's what I'm looking for.
Ding,
Oh
ding,
my
ding.
god, Ricky.
Everybody take a drink. No, I'm just kidding.
Like, why do you keep talking to Mizya? Dwight's not here. You
I
just
know,
wanna
like,
hear
this
me.
is the
You just
most
wanna hear me
we've
say
heard.
yes.
I am
This is
really
the
messing
most
with
we
it.
have heard from
Yeah.
Mizya the entire time.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it so much.
I love you doing an impression of Dwight doing them.
An
And it's
impression.
just perfect to me.
Right.
It's great. I love it.
Perfect.
That's what it is. I'm not doing Mizya's voice. I'm doing Dwight doing
Dwight
Mizya's
doing
voice.
Mizya, yeah.
That's all you need to do. That's only one step.
So,
I'm
Korvala looks at you, and you see her kind of sizing all of you up. She's looking at, there's 5 of you plus a wolf. You're
And
all
Frank.
armed or mostly armed, formidable looking.
When she makes eye contact with me, I basically go like the Cookie Monster finishing the last donut. And I kind of pause in the middle while she makes eye contact.
One eyebrow sort of cocks up a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I am willing to speak with you about this matter, but not here.
Where then?
If you can agree to civilized conversations, I will take you back to our homestead.
When she says civilized conversations, I kind of look uncomfortably over my shoulder at Doc.
Teera,
Yeah, what's up, Doc?
why are you looking at me like that?
No reason. We can talk about it later.
Shouldn't we talk about it now?
Yeah, Doc. I turn around. I turn all the way around. My back is to this lady now, and I'm just like, sometimes, you props to you. You get to the point, which is usually awesome, 95% of the time. But you sometimes. You gotta talk to people kindly. Have you ever heard you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar?
Asaria pipes in with onions.
Yeah. You know, you gotta talk to people gently to get them to tell you what you want them to tell you.
Open up a bit more.
Yeah.
Vorn suppresses a loud burp from the.
But
Doc, I think you're doing great.
but
Yeah,
What,
we're
Doc?
good.
but if they
What?
have information you want, why wouldn't you just ask for it?
Well, think of it like your flowers. If you come at it too abruptly, like if you're trimming them, right? If you're coming at them too abruptly, you could cut off the pretty part that you actually want. If you come at it a little more gently and carefully, it'll be much better to be preserved.
Oh. And he's going to look at the people behind the tent. He's like, I'm sorry I cut your heads off.
Marliza and Rama just sort of look at each other, and you swear Rama sort of shrinks his head down just a little bit.
I turn around. I turn around with a thumb, and I'm like, kind of like, see what I mean.
That's one way to put it, Doc. That's one way.
Listen,
you,
We'll work
Doc.
on it. We'll work on it.
Korvala turns to the other two. Marliza, Rama, stay here. I will send Devani. Hold down the stall. I am going to take them back to the house. We'll talk. We'll straighten this all out. And she makes a point before leaving. She just sort of almost absentmindedly reaches out and grabs at a couple of the little displays of books and just makes a couple minor adjustments, moves another book so it's more prominently displayed. Like, this is her shop, and she's just making a quick adjustment, and then she disappears into the back for a moment, And then very quickly you see her reappear from around the side, and she says, "Please, this way." And she motions for you to follow her. And she begins to lead you all through the crowds and out away from the main part of the wide. Did you, by chance, come with any horses or any other mounts?
We have horses here.
I would recommend that you leave them here. They will be safer here in the market.
Then, safer here than in, like, the stables?
Where we're going, there's not exactly a stables. We are going to be going into... We live in a part of town called the Black Gate.
Oh.
It is not that far to walk outside. But
Okay.
the guards will keep watch over your animals here, and they will be fine. I cannot give any such guarantee. If you take several horses into the Black Gate, you may
Mizya.
find that you have less horses.
How about you send your unseen servant to go get our horses and bring them here, yeah? Can you do that?
Wait, you want her to bring the horses?
I want Mizya's
Mizya.
unseen servant to
Mhm.
bring the horses back to where we are.
I think the person was saying that we should leave the horses where they are. We shouldn't take them with us to the Black Gate. Am I
Yeah,
wrong?
that's exactly what she's saying.
Okay.
She's
I
saying,
misunderstood that.
if you
yeah.
have horses, leave them here where they are.
Okay.
Don't take them
Oh.
with you, because it's kind of like driving your car into the bad part of town. You might not
I see.
have a car
That
when you
makes
come
more
out.
sense. Cari, I was with you. Yeah.
I also
was-
didn't know where the horses were to begin with.
You
so that's a
you
problem.
parked them. You hitched
Yeah.
them up outside the wide before you went
Okay.
walking around.
There.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
mind. I don't mind walking. I tend to cover distances very quickly. It's because my legs are very long.
You find, how tall are you, Doc?
6'10".
Okay. While not as tall as you, Corvala is 6 feet tall. She is quite a tall woman. She's a little stocky, like broad-shouldered. She looks like, she can hold her own. She also, you can tell from her accent and her heritage that she looks like somebody that comes from further south around Cormier. She leads you through a part of town that where did it go?
While he's looking, I will make note also that I am taller than her too, just in case it should happen to come up.
Interesting. I thought I had. Oh yeah, I don't know why it's not on my. I don't have it on my list of stuff, but for my shortcut. But this is the part of town that you are brought into. A lot of the houses and structures are very close together. There's some of them that are a little more than hovels, shacks. As you are walking through this region, you end up walking through out of the wide and out into, you end up passing through a couple of gates and outside of Baldur's Gate City proper, where some of the city spills out into the borders, and that's where Blackgate is. Somebody roll me a D8.
Not it.
8.
Okay.
Me again.
Yeah, Ricky, you're on a roll.
Saria rolled 8.
Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, let's serious, dude.
Okay.
Let's take a serious roll.
Ricky, go ahead and roll a D8 as well.
Oh no.
Oh God.
8. Roll again, probably.
See, I'm okay when decisions only affect me, but
We're a
when
team
it's
here.
the whole team. Oh, see, that's a power 2.
Oof.
What was it?
It's a 2, but it's a powerful
Dos.
2. It's the strongest 2 that you can have amongst 2s.
Okay. So, as you're walking through the group of you, you can hear the sounds of a scuffle coming through one of the buildings. You hear a couple of people yelling loudly in common. Names are called. And just as you're walking, about to walk past, in classic Western fashion, except it's not a glass window, it's a boarded up window, a large human man goes flying through and tumbling into the street. And he quickly stands up to his feet and looks around, and he's already wiping at a bloody nose. And you see an even bigger woman step up. This woman looks to be about 6'4", about 250 pounds of all muscle and brawn. She's got long blonde hair. Oh, that's what you were talking about, Cari.
Yeah.
Jordan
See,
just messaged me too.
Yeah.
I
And-
wasn't going to say anything again, Jake, but you seemed exceedingly left justified tonight. And
Yep,
No,
and
it's-
you're going even further.
I know
as
it's
you're
intentional,
going.
and I like that
No,
touch.
this is
but-
not intentional. This is
Okay.
this is.
There you go.
Boy, we can see both
There
your
we go.
ears.
Yeah.
I thought you were
Yeah.
talking because I was facing the other direction. I
No,
wasn't even looking.
I've noticed that
No.
and love it, but
No,
Yep.
it's that weird thing about every other time I start my computer, it changes the size that my camera output is.
gotcha.
So this time it decided to go double size.
Real
So
close.
anyway, this very large woman, very muscular woman, she has long blonde hair pulled back into a ponytail. She's got this sort of gray tunic with the sleeves rolled up, revealing just tattooed forearms. And she just puts her hands on the edge of where that broken window board was. And she says, "Before you even take another step, I would seriously consider how much more blood you want to lose, Grendel. Don't come back until you have all of the money." And this guy with the bloody nose, apparently Grendel, he looks around. And then he looks right at your group and he says, "Right, wherever you go for a drink, don't go in there. You're just as likely to get a cup of piss as you are a cup of ale." And he spits on the ground and he goes storming off with a little bit of a stagger in his step. Not sure if it's because he got his bell rung or because he's a little inebriated.
Or both.
Or both.
Could be both, yeah.
You continue on your way through with Corvala, who seems kind of unshaken by this, stopping to let it happen and then moving on. Corvala's leading you through several different turns because there's no order to the Black Gate. It looks like people put up buildings wherever they could, wherever they found space. In some cases, you can see the remains of a building that somebody used the debris from to put together a whole other building. So you're beginning to sort of lose your way in all of this. Not even necessarily sure, where you started versus where you're going.
Can I do a perception check to see if we're being followed?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
absolutely.
Mary doesn't trust this. She also doesn't like cities, so this is kind of claustrophobic for her.
Oh yeah, very
I
much
think
so.
Very good thinking.
Perception, which I am good at. That is a 23.
Nice. Well done.
Okay. You give me 1 second because I'm multitasking. Where did it go? There we go.
Anybody shady following us? as we journey
Let's
further
see.
into the city.
I like your thinking. Well done.
Thank you.
I'm here.
You're not shady, Doc.
You just provide a lot of
Yeah,
shade.
you provide a lot of shade, but you aren't essentially shady yourself.
Assyria,
Yes.
when you stopped for the whole exchange with the barkeep throwing Grendel out into the street,
Mm-hmm.
and then when he stumbled off and you all began moving, it was around there that you noticed you picked up a tail. They've been keeping their distance, but there's two humans, grubby looking. Their clothes and skin are so dirty that at times they almost blend in with the texture of the dark wood and just the general dinginess of the Blackgate region. But you are definitely being followed by two humans.
Alright. Saria will lean down at this point while the exchange was happening and probably give some pocket bacon to Soren and be like, keep an eye on them, she'll say. As we're gonna keep walking. She's trying to not draw attention, but when she gets a moment, she is going to try and kind of alert Teera when she can.
About every couple of minutes, you make a turn, and they're out of sight for about 30 seconds to a minute before the buildings are close enough together through here that you're frequently making turns around, but they're still there. So you would have time to steal a moment with Teera if you needed to,
Yeah.
while they were out of sight.
You'll hear Sarah kind of coughing.
You alright? Saria. Oh, and I go over to her. Like, what?
We're being followed.
Shit. By what? By who? How many?
Right now it's 2. It could be more. But there's for sure 2 at least.
What are they?
Don't make a scene, mate. Here, and she'll give some pocket bacon to Teera. Look like you're feeding Soren.
Yeah. Here you go, buddy. Hey,
Don't chuck it at him.
I don't chuck it. No, I'm holding it out to you.
It looks like you were just chucking the bacon.
No. I would never. I'm gently handing it to him.
I just saw the hand go, and I was like, don't
Sorry.
chuck it.
No,
Here,
I would
just
never.
give him the whole package of treats.
There you go. Yeah, that is something Teera would do though. She only keep her mind on one thing at a time. And it's like, so like, what are they? Are they, makes a difference if they're orcs or halflings? You know what I mean?
They appear to be human, very disheveled.
Okay. Well,
So,
let them follow us and try something if they think they're fancy.
well, at least there's 2 of them behind us, but I'm sure there's gonna be more around.
Okay. Well, it would have to be a whole hell of a lot of them to, be able to pose a threat. So just keep an eye on them. If they
You
get,
say that, but we have almost died against books. How many times?
yeah, that was against magic shit. I know how to kill the hell out of something that's made of meat.
That's true.
So
Alright.
just if they get any closer, if they have any weapons, if they look like they're gonna try to get froggy, then we jump.
Yep, makes sense. Alright. Better not say anything to Doc just yet, or Vornuk
Yeah.
again.
Vaughn. I mean, yeah. If Vaughn doesn't, he might already know.
He might. Still,
We'll see. Anyway, yeah, we should keep going.
and we'll keep moving.
Should I roll a perception check too? Jake, to figure out if I know or not.
Yeah, you can if you want.
Because Vorn's been checking behind us for days, paranoid as hell.
Yeah, I just don't want to metagame it because I know if that's knowledge that
No,
they have.
you're fine. It makes sense that you'd be checking.
You have laid the groundwork for you checking.
You have.
Warren gets 18. Here we go.
Hey,
me check.
Ricky.
Yay.
Oh yeah, these guys are terrible at stealth. I would say, after a moment, Teera and Assyria, Corvala slows her pace enough to sort of drop back in amongst the two of you. I see that you have noticed. We've picked up a tail. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. And she sort of purses her lip, and she makes this really high-pitched, almost inaudible whistle. It's a series of 2 or 3 whistles. Soren's ears perk up immediately.
I immediately clap hands on Soren's ears, trying to help block out the noise.
After a moment, and it's only a moment, you see a couple of figures with the same dusky complexion as Corvala and the other Amberdune operators step out from the shadows. And I need to check something real quick. Let me roll these.
All these people are hot.
You notice that these individuals step out, and you see the quick flash of scimitars in their hands, but they're held at their side. They reach out and they deliberately intercede with these 2 individuals. You do not see any other like action of them throwing a punch. You don't see them slashing out with the scimitars. You're not really sure what happens, as suddenly the 2 humans sort of stagger and begin to fall forward, and these 2 people grab hold of them, and just as quick as they appeared, they drag these 2 humans into the shadows and disappear.
Oh my god. That is awesome. And I kind of... Is Corvala still standing near us?
You're all still more or less... yeah, you're all together. You're just sort of around the edge, this corner, where you kind of held up for a moment.
I kind of lean to her and I say, you have some pretty powerful friends for being a bookseller.
We're almost there. I will explain everything to you. It is just here, up ahead. And she leads you up to this... Whoops. She leads you up to this larger building here. So it was sort of right in this area here where the people came out of the shadows, took the two thugs and dragged them into the shadows, apparently unconscious. You all were just sort of here where you saw that happen. She leads you in through a door into this building. And that's okay. Apparently that map's covering the other one. Okay. It's like I've suddenly forgotten how to use all my controls. Oh my gosh. She leads you through the door, and you find yourself inside a house. You're in this largish common area. Inside here, there's actually two other individuals. There is a middle-aged woman who seems to be sitting there. She's got some knitting needles. She just seems to be occupying herself with some knitting. And Asaria, I'm going to carry over your 23 perception for this because you're sort of on heightened alert.
Yep.
She's moving the needles, but she's not actually knitting. She's watching the door. Mm-hmm. And you see that the way she's gripping the needles in a way that suggests that if necessary, she could wield them like weapons.
Oh my god.
Yep. I had a feeling.
And
awesome.
there is also a much older individual who is seated on the floor in front of the table, surrounded by stacks of books, and appears to be flipping through, has a notebook, is making notes, and is just sitting there going, da, 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 and they are completely engrossed in what they are doing. As soon as you all walk in, Corvala looks over and says, "It's okay, Avani. Theron and Inbar took care of it. It appears that there was some interest in our new friends here. Avani, please, can you go assist Marlies and Rama at the stand? They're a bit, they seem to be struggling a bit today. Zahn, keep doing what you are doing." With a little bit of instruction, you see Avani puts away the knitting needles, and she stands up, and you see that she has a scimitar attached to her belt. As she heads out past, kind of moves past all of you and heads out the door, the two individuals that you saw step out from the shadows moments ago enter. There's a young, lithe individual and another sort of in their 20s. They look like somebody you would, ironically, like somebody you would find in Candlekeep rather than here. They look very studious. They have a pair of round spectacles that they keep adjusting. Friends, this is Zahn here with the books. This is Theron and Inbar. They are off shift from working the stand right now. That was Avani that I just sent back to work with the others at the stand. These are my family. Come with me to my office. And
Hello.
she leads you through the house. You pass through this area where you see a bunch of beds, and around here into an office. I'm gonna move that up there. I don't really need this anymore.
So, if I'm understanding this right, they were the ones, the two family members took out the people that were following us. Is that correct?
Correct.
So, Vornuk compliments both of them. It was like exemplary work with the people that were following us to the city. I mean, it was quiet, smooth, exemplary. You have to teach me that technique of stealth.
Inbar, who she looks to be quite the studious one with the glasses. They're sort of these round spectacles. She just kind of pushes them up. Yes, we don't like to draw a lot of attention to ourselves. We find it best to take care of things as quickly and quietly as possible.
Simpler. Just, Warren is thinking back to his bodyguard experience that he's had, and it's just remarking at how excellent of a job they did for himself.
Asaria.
Yes.
Roll me a perception check for
Soren.
And it will be at advantage because
he's a wolfy boy.
Because he's a wolf.
Smart. He's super smart and he's amazing. Going up a stop. So perception, that is going to be... Got it. Okay. That's going to be a 19.
Wow.
He's a very perceptive boy.
Soren, from the moment that you entered this house, Soren knows to stay by your side. Soren is pressing into the side of your leg in almost a protective way. And I would say that you probably have sensed this when you've been in the wilderness, and Soren has sensed that there might be dangerous animals in the area. He's caught sight of other wolves or a bear, owl bear, something that could be dangerous. He's not fully like growling or anything, but his ears are up, and you can see that as he's sort of pressing into the side of your leg, he's just...
Good boy.
Nose in the air.
Sarah's seen him obviously with that, and she's going to take a moment to kind of... I think how to phrase this. Take stock. See if maybe she can pick up if there's any magic in the air, too. She's doing that not only for herself, if she's feeling any pain, as well as if there's anything in the air that might be triggering this effect as well. Should I do some kind of arcana check perhaps too, or?
Yes, you can do an arcana check.
Okay, arcana, that's a 15.
You're not getting any sense of any kind of magical effects in the area.
That narrows it down. Stay on that. She'll say that to Soren, but she'll also kind of look over at Teera as she's saying this too.
I'm just kind of like at this. Tira's feeling a little exposed. Also, she's just trying to stand up, like be as tall as she can be. She's not slouching like at all.
Sarah's got her hand ready on her sword, ready to go at any moment.
What is your question, Doc?
It's for her. Can you? No, because she has to acknowledge my hand, because otherwise.
That's true.
Yeah.
Doc, what's your question?
No, but she's the one who has to answer it.
Oh, I wasn't
Voila,
sure
that
who.
she.
Okay, I wasn't sure. You have to be more. For once, you need to be more specific. Actually, for once. There's a couple of she's in the room, and Asaria will point.
With a 14 perception, Corvala looks at you and says, Doc, is it you have a question?
Yes. Frank the flower pot says you have a lovely home. At least I think he does. He's a flower pot.
Please tell Frank the flower pot I said thank you.
That's not a
She says thank you, Frank.
Please, I was going to take you back into my office, but there are too many of us. Perhaps be more comfortable here. Please, take a seat.
I prefer to stand, if that's all right.
Yes, Doc.
I forgot I had a question.
Yes, what is your question?
Your decorator?
It is us. We decorated this place ourselves.
They decorated themselves.
Most of the furniture is found furniture, the best we could do. This rug, and she indicates that most of the floor in this room is covered by a very ornate sort of, I guess, an equivalent in our world, like a really nice Persian rug. Though it does have a bit of dust and wear on it.
I want to sit. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just gonna say I want to sit down in a chair that has its back like. Is there a chair that has like its back to a wall or close to a wall? I don't want to be where somebody could be behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there are many chairs like that.
Yes.
I want to pick one
so
of those.
this is the door that you came in. You've got chairs all around.
Marion and Soren are going to take the corner. And we're not sitting. We're going to be standing.
And there's a door over here. The individual introduced as Zan, they are continuing to hum quietly to themselves and sort through the books at the table in the middle of the room. The other two that came in, Theron and Inbar, have taken up position, one sort of in front of the door, and one in that corner up in the northwest. Please make yourself comfortable and I will answer all your questions. My name is Korvala. Korvala Amberdune.
Oh,
And this is my pack of jackal wares. And that is where we're going to take our break.
Cool.
As I'm realizing it's
so
almost 20
good.
after. It's
Amazing.
9:15, so we're going to go ahead and take about a 10-minute break. Go ahead and refresh your beverages, use the restroom, do whatever you got to do. We'll be back in just 10 minutes. See you on the other side. And we're back. And a major shout out to Mashed Potatoed, who, just as we went on break, gave out 10 community subs. So thank you so much, Mashed Potatoed.
Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to boost your domain tomes up to 43.
All the magic.
Amazing. I love the swirl.
That's great.
All right. So, Corvala has just introduced herself. I am Corvala Amberdune, and this is my Jackalware pack.
It's a Jackalware.
Mhm.
I will explain this to you in a way that will hopefully not be frightening, and so that you can understand. I have every intention of being completely honest with you. But first, I have told you my name, and I have told you the names of my pack members. I know your name, Doc. What are the rest of you?
This is Frank.
Yes, Frank the Flower Pot. You notice that at this, you hear that where Zan is sort of sorting through, just sort of, just kind of looks up and just kind of smirks up at you and the flower pot sort of floating there, and then back to their books. Please, who are you?
Born, first son of the Vornuk of the Dark Blood tribe of the North.
She gives a nod.
I'm Teera the Sun-Maned, and I am also from the north.
A couple of northerners. Quite a long way from home.
Mm-hmm.
Asteria Resha, and this is Soren.
Yes, I am Mizya Helviar.
Hold on, I gotta take a drink.
To answer your question, Jackalwares like us are unique individuals that possess both the traits of our humanoid forms, but also, like those of jackals, we can transform. It is something that we embrace. Now yours. Oh, go ahead.
I apologize. Like a form of lycanthropy.
It is precisely a form of lycanthropy.
Was it?
Can you control when you change, or does it happen when, like, full moon or something like that?
When the full moon happens, as far as I know and from my own experience, lycanthropes find it nearly impossible to resist the change. But we lean into our lycanthropy as Jackalwares. We take pride in who we are. And because of that, and she stands up and
God. Oh, God.
you see her smile, and then you notice as some of her form shifts. You see her teeth sharpen, her nose elongate, her ears elongate, her legs, her knees momentarily snap backwards as the joints change, and she becomes
Oh, God. It's like that scene in Black Swan.
Yep.
I hate it. I hate it.
I was thinking in Arrival. From,
She looks like this.
1997.
Holy shit.
but she's still wearing her clothes.
Doc!
And then, for just a moment, she shifts into a... she shifts into an actual jackal. Like, she drops down to all fours. And she has a canine appearance, very similar to Soren, but much smaller. And then you see as this form sort of rises up, and all of this happens in under a minute as she shifts forms, and then she stands back up as herself. It is as simple as willing it to happen. And it is mostly painless. And all of us can do it at will. As she sort of indicates the other members standing around. You have Inbar, Theron, and Zan in the room with her.
Shit.
I tell you this not to frighten you, and with no intention to intimidate you, but I want to be honest with you. You told me that some of the books, Doc, you said some of our books turned into monsters, and that they made their way to Candlekeep.
They did.
This was not supposed to happen.
Did you know the books were enchanted or whatever, messed up? Did you know they would turn into monsters?
Yes, I'm the one that turned them into Gingwatsum.
Holy shit.
For what purpose then?
I was not always the pack leader of the Amberdune pack. All of us served our beloved Natalia.
Oh.
A Lamia. Everybody make me a nature or history check.
Got it. Name.
Thank you, Goblin Dice. Thank you.
2.
What were the checks again?
You think
Was
she might have
history
said
or
llama.
Kara
history or
squints her eyes.
It's a history or nature.
6.
30, 20.
I was like,
9.
you guys got this.
What'd you get, Vorn?
The highest 9 possible.
It's higher than a 2. Congratulations.
The
Ricky.
highest 9 possible. What I say?
9.9.
Intelligence or nature?
We just love when cats are doing that kind of stuff, Cari.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Assyria,
Yes.
you've heard of Lamia. You've heard of a Lamia before.
Mhm.
They are creatures that the stories you've heard come from the southern regions around the desert of the Kalimshan Desert and around Cormyr. You know Lamias to be tyrants and predators. They are comprised of a humanoid upper body from the waist up.
Mhm.
And their lower form is that of like a lion, powerful and dangerous. You with that 20, I'd say the stories you've heard of tell of Lamias being creations and servants of the demon lord Grazd, and that they are most known for collecting slaves, enslaving people,
Love that.
and they are known for surrounding themselves with jackals and jackalware servants, according to the stories. Do you say or do anything to belie this knowledge?
Kind of taking stock of the situation right now. No, but she is going to make a note to bring it up to the party a little bit later. Not wanting to deter what we're
wanting
finding
to
out currently.
Get eaten, as they say.
Yeah, not.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Not super hot on that plan.
So she's going to hold off for now, but she is making a mental note to bring it up later.
Okay, so she says that hold on. I lost my place.
While he's looking, guys, I stepped away for just a second. Do we know if Natalia is dead or just gone, or do we know anything
only
yet?
just did the history check. That was all
Okay.
that was. Yep. We don't know about Natalia yet.
We don't know about Natalia.
You're a night kicker, sir. No, we don't know.
Because Doc has this way of seeing past the veil of everything. Vorn's kind of looking at Doc to see what he's looking at, what he's focusing on.
Good dude. Good idea.
Doc is just staring straight at the jackal lady. He's not really paying attention to anything else.
She's the most interesting thing in the room.
And Assyria, are you giving off any body language that shows that you know something? Or?
She's probably defensive. You probably see her head kind of nodding up and down as like pieces, like seeing the cogs kind of spinning in her head as things are kind of going. She's in a very defensive kind of stance. And Soren, you would have probably have heard slightly growling and just on alert from the moment, that we entered into the house. At this point, she doesn't look like she's gonna strike, but she does look ready to defend herself should it call for that.
And Teera, like I'm imagining, like you're always like Dolph Lundgren, like always like sweaty and buff. But I'm wondering if
you will lose.
Are there any obvious signs that you are tense?
Honestly, I've been rolling so badly. Teera is just more dazzled by the transformation show we just got, and kind of she's still a little guarded. She's still standing up. Teera does not have the greatest posture, but right now she is standing up very like as tall as she can be. Just a little,
And
Probably munching on some pocket bacon that is
probably because I did not give all of it to Soren.
Yeah,
It's
no.
great.
and Vorn's trying to read the room to get his footing underneath him. What's Mizya? Is Mizya always quiet?
It's just probably reading a book in the corner, not giving a crap
Mizya's
about anything.
bored as
I imagine Mizya.
I'm trying to get Jake to say something.
I imagine Mizya took this seat over here because on the floor right here is where Zan is sorting through the books, and Mizya is sort of looking over their shoulder, just observing the books, but also sort of keeping one eye out, just trying to see what else is going on. I did roll a nature check for Mizya and only got an 11, so Mizya is too engrossed in what's going on with the books. So
Makes sense.
Vorn, go ahead and make me an insight check.
Yeah, at this point, Vorn is trying not to spiral because of all of the different cues he's trying to recognize in the room and figure out what's dangerous and what's not. He just watched this person transform into and what Vorn is trying to separate in his mind is the rats / men / ratwares that he encountered in the forest versus what he's seeing now. And we'll see how we do here. Oh jeez, power 4, the highest 4 of all the 4s that we can roll.
Use
Vorn, you're just looking
legitimate
around
dice.
and
Sorry.
I
All right,
mean,
now-
you see exactly what is in the room. You see the four jackal-wares in their human forms taking up positions around the room, and everybody seems, other than Mizya and Zan, nobody else, except maybe Doc, I don't know. Nobody seems to be particularly at ease. Everybody seems to be sitting kind of stiffly in their chairs.
Mhm. So Vorn feels like, when a kid walks into the basement and the hairs kind of stand up and the kid can identify why. That's how Vorn feels right now.
Okay.
Awesome.
Korvala continues. Nidalia is our leader. Was our leader. She taught me how to make the Gingwatsums in a very specific magical ritual. But I am under Nadalia's sky spell. I am magically prohibited from telling anyone, even my own packmates, how this ritual is performed. I, using this ritual, can empower a newly formed Gingwatsum to assume two other forms, allowing it to duplicate a specific object and a tiny beast, usually like a mouse or a spider. As an object, it allows it to hide in plain sight. As a common beast, it can move about without attracting attention. Nobody notices if the book on the table suddenly turns into a spider and it crawls away into a corner. They're not very smart, though, these Gingwatsum. They do exactly as they are told. The ones that I created, specifically Mazfroth's Mighty Digressions, the Dark Hunger, Fallen Tethymar, they were instructed to remain in book form. But unfortunately, the Gingwatsum, they need to transform sometimes so that they can feed. They feed on energy. And it was never my intention, though, that these books would make their way all the way to Candlekeep. It's unusual. I've created a total of 8 Gingwatsum. 2 of them are here in our home to protect us. 6 of them were books. 3 of them, apparently, as you said, have made their way to Candlekeep. The reason that I made these, you have to understand, it was never with the intention of causing harm. Nidalia, I don't know if you know what you know, anything about Lamias. But Nidalia, she was nothing like the other Lamias. They're so evil, and they surround themselves with slaves and opulence. But Nidalia, she thirsted for knowledge. She thirsted after books and scrolls. These were the things that she coveted. She instilled the love of knowledge into all of us. Many of my pack, before Nidalia, they could not even read. Now you'd be lucky to stop any of them from reading through most of the books that we sell. We loved Nidalia. We loved her very much. So much so that we want her back. Natalia has died. A band of adventurers. And you notice the others shift a bit uncomfortably as they look around at all of you. They assumed her to be a malevolent force, like the other Lamias they had heard of. And without so much as a question, they attacked her, and they killed her. They began killing members of my pack. They began to steal what they could, filling their bags and their pockets with the things that belonged to Natalia. I gathered up the others, the survivors, and we grabbed as many books as we could. And we fled. And while I distracted the others with gathering specific lists of books, I went to the fallen Natalia, and I removed her heart, and I wrapped it up carefully, and I brought it with us. We're just trying to raise money to bring back Natalia.
Doc, do you have a question?
I do.
What is your question, Doc?
You said that you made King Watson and you told them to remain in book form. But then you said they needed to change out of their book form to feed. So if you told them to stay in their book form, but you knew they couldn't stay in their book form, that doesn't seem very nice.
The Gingwatsum are given the form of the book and the ability to turn into a small creature. Generally, what we have seen is that they turn into this creature, and they are able to subdue other creatures, rats and mice, cats, whatever, and absorb their energy, and then they can return back to where they were, and nobody is none the wiser. But if these books made their way into Candlekeep, it is much different than here in the city or out in the wilderness. We're just trying to make as much money as possible to be able to pay for the services of a spellcaster powerful enough to resurrect our beloved Natalia. And to do so, it requires a diamond worth 1,000 gold pieces. It is very expensive. So, we took some of the most valuable books. I took these books, Mazfroth's Mighty Digressions and the others. And I made King Watson, and I told them to take the form of Mazfroth and Fallen Tetramir in the Dark Hunger, so that I could sell them without having to actually sell the real book. That I can give it to Natalia when we bring her back. Please. Zan. And she kind of nods at Zan, who, with barely a word, just closes his notebook, their notebook, stands up, and leaves the room. I know, from what I understand, nobody was killed. But you nearly were, she says to Mizya. And for that, I am so very sorry.
insight check.
What did you think would happen? That they would not continue to consume and try to feed off of greater life? Like, why not? Why not? And Vorn is trying to reconcile the secrets of his past and what he had to do with his mother and her burial. And he expresses himself in a little bit of anger, a little bit of condescension. And he's like, why not lay her to rest and allow her to proper burial so that she can go on into the next realm? Why bring her back? And it's a little, like, he clenches his jaw, trying not to show his anger, even though it's not his direct family.
Have you ever loved somebody so much that you would do anything to keep them?
I love them enough to let them rest when they die. And he thinks back on burying his mother's head.
She didn't die of old age. She didn't die from sickness. She was killed. She was taken from us by somebody who gave it no thought. They assumed her to be somebody who was evil and dark. They did not look at the individual that was Nadalia. They looked at her form, and they listened to the old stories and the legends of the Lamia, the children of Gast. They did not look at her for who she was.
I agree.
Horn's going to roll a wisdom or a charisma to figure out if he should speak his mind or not. How does that sound?
However you want to do that. I generally, when I'm unsure how I want to play a character, I pick a stat like wisdom.
Okay.
I roll a d10, and if it's I generally do sort of like a death save. If it's 10 or higher, then I do the smart thing.
Okay,
that's me. That's me. But you can do a variation of that or whatever you want to do.
Oh wow! Finally, Vorn was a natural 20 plus a 1.
Oh,
wow!
Natural 20.
Wow.
So what does that mean?
Yeah.
So Vorn has a different perception on death and how it enacts with the world, in that he doesn't accept it as it's a great leveler in which it balances everything, in that it's indiscriminate. Vorn understands that children die. Vorn understands that his own mother was taken in a very similar fashion in the way that she's describing. And he sees the unjust unfairness, but he's also wise enough to know that when someone has these emotions, that he is not in a position to tell them how to feel about it. So he backs off from his internal anger, and he says, I respect your path and your decision, and kind of just slumps back into the seat that he's sitting from across from the speaker. So he's able to separate his personal feelings and his personal philosophy about how death works in the world and what its purpose is from this person's personal anguish, and recognizes that and doesn't want to, if that makes any sense.
She gives you a nod, and she seems to sort of acknowledge, to a certain extent, this internal struggle. And a moment later, Zan returns, holding 3 books. Places them on the table. Those 3 books, those are the original Mazfroth's Mighty Digressions, Dark Hunger, and Fallen Tethumar. As a sign of goodwill and regret, I give these to you to take back to Candlekeep, to replace the books that fell into the hands there.
If you give us these books, then what are you gonna sell to make the money you need?
We are struggling. There.
Vorn understands, and he's saying, we're getting with 10 gold help towards your struggles. And he's personally speaking on the fact that he asked for 10 more gold to pay for, the type of thing that they want us to ask, and he's going to, say, okay, and that's what the equation is running, so he will push that 10 gold towards them if, that helps.
I am humbled by your offer. And I would be wrong to say that 10 or 5 or 1 gold would not help. Every amount pushes us closer. But we need still over 1,000 gold pieces to employ the services of a cleric and to purchase what we need. Now,
apologies.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, you seem to know your way around magic. Have you ever thought about perhaps doing some kind of consultation business?
I'm afraid I don't really know much magic. I know the ritual Nadalia taught me, and by the nature of the Gaia spell, I am forbidden to even reveal it.
Right.
There is something you could do for us, if you are willing. It relates to those...
Sure.
Hold
on. Did you just clear your throat?
No,
He said hold it.
No, I thought Doc cleared his throat. Like, I looked up to see if Doc had his hand up, and I just wasn't seeing it.
She said there's something you can do for us, and Doc said sure.
Okay.
He's a friendly
and Vorn
dude.
said hold up.
Yeah.
Well, Vorn says, never mind, go ahead and finish.
Those 2 individuals that were trailing us when I was leading you back here. You saw them, I know.
Mm-hmm.
They were hopefuls for a different breed of lycanthrope. They were hopefuls for Mushika, a were-rat that slums around in this part of the city.
I thought so.
Mm-hmm.
Mushika is trying to raise his own pack, but he puts people through ridiculous rituals to prove themselves. And it usually involves waylaying people like yourself. I believe Mushika commanded his thugs. They were probably going to kill you, or try their best, to earn the right for Mushika to turn them into were-rats. We identified them. They did not have the full symbol. It was a temporary marking upon their skin. The sigil of the were-rat. And she draws sort of in the air just the symbol, mirroring what you saw on the person you killed.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen Mushika for days. And those thugs were the only ones of his people we've even seen in close to a 10-day. This tells me that Mushika's hideout is very well, quite possibly, unoccupied. Mushika likes to liberate travelers from their belongings and then sell them at a premium. You're lucky in their stalls. They don't even have stalls, really. They wander through the market. You're lucky if something he's selling you doesn't still have blood staining it. if you could be willing to go to Mashika's warehouse and remove the goods that he has, we could perhaps resell them and make the money we need. If you are willing to do this.
Sure.
Wait, hold on. No, wait.
What, Vaughn?
I don't know. Speaking for myself and for the rest of the group, if you can work out a deal with the sweetbread shop and the hot beverage shop, mug club, and fresh apple fritters whenever we come into town. Plus,
Vaughn, if they're struggling this much, I highly doubt they're going to be able to do that.
As great an idea as the Mug
It's a
Club
great
was.
idea, but I don't think that if that could have happened, I believe they would have done so already.
Assyria,
What?
was it a great idea?
ouch! Wow. Okay.
Are
It
you
was good in theory.
Are you talking of Autumn Sparkhearth and Heathkin Velgir?
Yes.
You slide that in.
Heathkin and Autumn are among the kindest and most generous of the shop owners in the Wide. They are certainly much kinder than that Gimmeron Grimthkar.
Yeah, we ran into him.
And she
too.
sort of snarls when she says that name.
Perhaps we can work out something with them, Vaughn, but I don't think that.
Hold on. There's one more thing I want to.
Please continue.
Yeah. And I look over at the two ones that took care of the two people trailing us. I would love to learn your stealth technique. If you can show me that and show me how I can, like, just a little bit of that. Yeah.
Which one do you specifically look at? Because there's the one that's blocking the door, or that's standing by the door. Yeah. That is Theron, who is sort of the thin, lithe, tall man in his early 20s. The other one is the sort of scholarly-looking Inbar, who was up in the northwest corner of the room.
That's what I'm looking at. The one that was fixing their glasses, because I have a kinship towards fixing glasses and goggles. And
she says, you want to learn our techniques.
Even if it's just how...
She adjusts her glasses, Vorn, and she's looking into your eyes. You want to know how it is that we are able to do the things that we are able to do. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, God.
Oh, no. Vorn, this is what greed does.
Don't ask questions.
Bad things.
I don't know D&D. Rolling the wisdom.
Oh, no.
Power 9.
Oh my God! Please
Vorn's
roll real dice!
Vorn.
Holy crap!
No, he's been rolling well tonight.
No, you hear Vorn as she's saying this. You are hoping to learn the secrets of the Jackaware, and her voice is just filling your head.
Oh.
And she reaches out a hand, and you all watch as Vorn sort of struggles to keep his eyes open.
Ooh.
And she just reaches out and grabs Vorn as he starts to fall unconscious, and she quickly, he is fine, and she gently sets him down against the wall. He's just asleep.
What happened? What are you?
Why did you put him to sleep?
Hold. She reaches out and
At this point, Teera's reaching back.
She just flicks Vorn's ear. Vorn, you groggily. Vorn, tell your friends you are okay.
Show me that technique. My God, that was great.
I'm so well rested.
I just took a long rest in a short time period.
Wow.
Holy crap!
She says, I'm afraid the only way to teach you this is... And she sort of licks her teeth.
Ooh, nope.
Would be to
no.
make you like one of us. And she glances over, and Corvala says, okay. All right. You've had your fun, Inbar. Your friend is fine. Vorn, you are fine. It is an innate ability that Jackowares have. In our form, we can... Well, we can put people to sleep. That's what we did to those... to Moshika stocks. So, unfortunately, this is a part of the curse of lycanthropy.
Do you know where the warehouse is? That Mashika would that were.
We do. We can escort you there. I can have Inbar go with you, and Theron.
Doc, do you have a question?
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah, Doc.
Yes.
Is it called a warehouse because there are were-rats there?
Oh.
W-E-R-E house?
No, it's a person that becomes a
There's
house
this-
on the full moon.
Doc, as you say this, Corvala looks at you and just blinks.
Oh.
Inbar looks at you and kind of... And all at once, including Zan, they all... I honestly never thought of that. That is very funny, Doc. It is a warehouse. Maybe we should call our home here the warehouse. I had not thought of that.
Yes.
No, it is called a warehouse because that is where people store stuff. I don't know why they call them warehouses. It's just what they're called.
It turns out I'm quite funny.
Very funny.
It turns out you are. So, do we have an agreement? The books are yours to take back to Candlekeep. All we ask is that Inbar and Theron will take you to the warehouse. You liberate Mushika of whatever supplies he has left unattended. And we are able to make the money we need to hopefully bring our Natalia back.
One final question, and then we'll get out of your hair, fur, I guess. What if the Rat King happens to be there, or happens to come back while we're inside? Do you want this guy kept alive for any sentimental reason, or are we more or less free to handle things?
I would leave it to your capable judgment. Moshika is not the kind fellow. Moshika is a devious, selfish individual that latches on to people and uses them up. He hopes to make his own rat kingdom someday, transforming people into were-rats. But from what we know of, he has only gathered a couple of individuals to his cause. I can't tell you he won't return. It's been 5-6 days since we've seen him. He's usually skulking around the White, but we've not seen him. Only his sycophants, his wannabes.
So, if I'm hearing this right, what you're saying is that we liberate the possessions of the Rat King. You're going to sell those possessions and then bring back your Natalia.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That is our plan, yes. If we can bring Natalia back, we can close up Amberdune books here in the White. And we can find a new home elsewhere. We just want to bring our Natalia back. We want to be with her and have her to be with us. We don't want any trouble.
I get the Rat King is a jerk, truly. And I
Calling him a
understand-
king is a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Well, I understand that we don't like rats, and I understand that rat. I guess what I'm asking is, are we the bad guys?
No.
Why not? We're taking someone else's possessions.
Right. But if they are killing those travelers anyways,
They're killing people to get
they're
their
killing
shit.
people. Right. And
They tried to kill us, don't you remember? And I kind of like look at Vorn and I realize I probably shouldn't talk
So
about where we've been or where we're going.
with
What
that,
do you mean
though-
they tried to kill you? Have you run into this Mushika? Have you
Huh.
run into some of his people?
Unfortunately.
Some of his people, we think. Wait, oh. What did Mushika look like? What does he look like?
Mushika is he is human. He is not 30 years old, but
Yep.
he's a scrawny, dirty fellow. Even
Uh,
I think he likes, when he is in humanoid form, he likes to be as dirty as a rat.
Yep.
You can usually
yep.
smell him coming.
um,
He usually
Can
is
you kill him
accompanied
more?
by giant rats.
And by
No.
so
you.
question, so does this DM question, does this strike Teera as the dude that she
Sounds
just
an awful
about
lot like the guy that you drove your
Okay.
greatsword down through his spine.
destroyed him? It's like, well, good news. I think he's already taken care of. This is that great part, like in a video game where you've already completed the quest. And you just talk to the NPC.
Do you agree to this quest? Yes, I agree to this quest. Oh, you've
Busted.
returned!
Wow!
Find me
Been
10
gone for a
bear
long
pelts.
time.
Oh, you've already killed 10 bears.
That's exactly what this feels like, and I love it.
Mhm.
I'm like, so we got attacked on the way here, and I think we killed him. We killed a bunch of his giant rats, and yeah, right to
Well,
the top of the head.
Well, if we took care of him, if it's a pack, and Sarah's looking at Soren when she's saying that, somebody else will be marshalling for the alpha position. So I don't think the problem is necessarily done.
I only
Right.
know of two others that he had that were true were-rats in his pack.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not word has reached of Moshika's death, I don't know, but
Why don't we ask the two dirty fellas in the back? We could ask them, get a little more information before we go.
it is unlikely they are even still there. We put them to sleep and dragged them out into the shadows and left them. We are not cutthroats.
Huh. Well, that's dangerous. Like, what? Did you blindfold them at least? They know right where you're at now.
They know where we live, just like we know where they live. This is the Black Kit. Most people know who most people are, though they don't talk to them.
Mm.
We know who to talk to, who we can count on, and who to stay away from. Autumn and Heath, while they are not here from the Black Kit, they live elsewhere. They are examples of people that we can trust. Helgartha, who runs the pub nearby, who threw that individual out onto the street, she is somebody that I trust. I trust not to piss off, I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
You learn when you have to live in places like this who to steer clear of, who to rely on. We are fortunate enough that at least with Mushika and his people, lycanthropes have a tendency to understand at least the nature of each other. And Mushika knows that we outnumber him and has never challenged us. I don't think he would give us a challenge.
We can certainly go and get those things.
If you find any of Mushika's cronies still behind, you are free to do with them as you see fit.
And Vorn says, I meant no offense. It's just that orcs often are considered the bad guys without truly knowing their motivations. And just kind of
Vorn.
leans back. That's all.
Vaughn, I understand what you mean and can empathize with you on a level that perhaps you may not fully appreciate, but
I appreciate that. Just wanted to make sure that we're fighting the right cause. Looks around the room and, what's Mizya doing during all this time?
More importantly, what is Mizya saying during this?
Correct.
I think there's this moment where somewhere along the line, Zan and Mizya have just started quietly talking to each other.
About books.
And
It's a little less tense.
specifically, Zan has been showing Mizya the true copies of Mazfroth. Mizya was noticeably a little hesitant to pick up the book. But
I wonder why.
Zan was flipping through and showing that all of the contents that were in the books and that they truly are what they are. So at some point, Mizya just sort of senses all of you. And this is a very Dwight thing as well, is I just see that Mizya has a book and just does this. Yes. There's something that I can help you with.
Yeah, there we go.
That's just really that's what we need.
Yeah.
And then
I think we should. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say about what time is it, Jake? Time of day.
I would say at this point, it's probably getting to be into the evening time.
Okay. So, well, night is almost upon us. I think that's the best time probably to sneak into the warehouse, yeah?
I agree.
So,
So, warehouse?
yes, the warehouse.
You are more than welcome to stay for dinner. The others will be closing up the shop soon. You can rest here until nightfall or whenever it is you wish to go. We will be preparing dinner shortly.
What's for dinner?
Vorn hasn't had any meat all day. He just has had carbs. So yeah, he's curious.
Carbs and sugar.
Korvala, who sort of stands up and has opened up the door on the east wall, in which you can see is a kitchen,
Ooh.
says beef stew.
Oh.
But the way she says beef, you can almost hear the air quotes around that word.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
I don't mind if the beef is like even if it's like rat, I just want the beef to not be people. That's that's
Make an insight check.
yeah, I'm gonna
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Dear Lord.
I got a 9. I'm trying real hard.
I mean, you've spent a little bit of time. Korvala seems to have been very forthright, coming right out and telling you their nature and who they are.
Yeah.
And you're inclined to, I'm not going to tell you how to believe, but you're inclined to believe that they are good-natured and are not serving you people.
Unbeknownst to
The
those
air
people.
quotes around beef stew was probably more of a it's not going to be Angus beef or anything like that.
Okay.
So,
Gotcha.
It's okay.
It's maybe a horse that got old.
yeah.
Okay. Great.
Good thing I don't eat.
Right.
All right.
God.
Well,
Awesome.
thank you, Ricky, for keep bringing it back to Mizya just to get me to do an impression of Dwight doing Mizya's voice.
It makes me so happy.
Phenomenal.
It's like just when you forget about it, all of a sudden Ricky's like, "What's Mizya doing?"
Ricky's on point.
Jeez.
So the funny thing is that my youngest daughter Vivian does all types of crap like that. I'm like, where did she get this behavior from? And I was like, obvious, like, oh wow, she gets it from that. That's exactly that's
I wonder.
All right. Well, as we are wrapping up, I'm going to go ahead and queue up. Please stick around. I am going to queue up a raid. We're going to send everybody over to Paradise RPG, who are playing Dungeons and Dragons. So when we do close out the stream and we send you all over there, be sure to let them know that Mini Terrain Domain sent you. Huge thank you. Huge thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. We hope you are enjoying this new campaign. We are really having a lot of fun starting out with these low-level characters and these sort of smaller adventures and sort of picking up into bigger and bigger things as we get to know more and more about these characters. Thank you to everybody who participated in chat, but if you are a silent watcher, a lurker even, we appreciate you all the same. Special shout out to those wonderful folks. Wiley Hobbit rated us a little while ago, so thank you for that. Talon and Claw donated some bits. Of course, Mashed Potatoed donated 10
MVP.
subs to the chat. We had a few other subs and gift subs, so thank you so much for that. Gary, why don't you go ahead, and I think you got something that you want to promote, so please go ahead and do that.
This Saturday is episode 4 of Quest for the Cure. We're raising money for Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and we have an incredible group of people, including the creator of the Forgotten Realms and this fine Candlekeep location, Ed Greenwood. That's on Saturday at 8 o'clock. And if you ever thought, hey, it might be cool to play D&D with Ed Greenwood, for every $20, $25 you donate between now and then, you have a chance to win a seat to play with us on Saturday night. So I'll put the info in the chat. Hopefully, maybe see one of you there.
Yay!
All
Very
right.
cool.
And Cari, if you want to give people a glimpse of that awesome t-shirt that you're wearing.
Oh, of course.
Oh, look at it.
If you want to get a hold of an awesome Mitade shirt yourself or other t-shirts that I have designed, you can do so by typing !point merch like I just did. Check out our Teespring store. We've got all kinds of cool designs for various campaigns. I do plan on using some of this awesome artwork that we had commissioned for this campaign and release a series of Candlekeep shirts, and some of the shirts that are available on that site. I totally forgot what it's called. Cult of Personality, our old Tomb of Annihilation campaign.
Woo.
Those are not going to be available much longer.
Oh.
Those are going to be going away. So do check out
Limited
the
edition.
Teespring store. Also, I know that coming soon will be a special edition Splorch, the Jelly Cube shirt. Right now you can get Splorch the Jelly Cube, just like the Jelly Cube emote that we have, created for us by the amazing Josie Adams. That design is available on a shirt, but I'm also going to be putting together later the next month or so a special edition of that. So make sure you check out our merch store. Stay up to date on what we got. Some of the options are available for notebooks, coffee mugs, and all that stuff too. So check that out. Tune in on Thursday for episode 27 of The Dawnbringers in season 5, Rime of the Frost Maiden. This is turning into our longest season yet, but things are getting really interesting as the party has landed on the island of Solstice and they are about to embark on the trials of the Frost Maiden. So the things are getting really interesting, so be sure to tune in for that. That's all I got for you. Before I kick off this raid and we get out of here, send you all over to Paradise. Of course, as always, I want to thank this amazing group of people that I get to play D&D with every Monday, who are #making Mondays fun again. Thank you, Gary, Jordan, Cari, Ricky, and even though he's on vacation, sitting poolside, sipping on Mai Tais or whatever, Dwight. Yes,
Amazing.
yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Without
Yes, yes.
all of these wonderful individuals, it would just be me talking to myself for 2.5 hours. So we're going to go ahead and end the stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it with me if you want.